welcome to our fall science program. I am so excited for this program. I love how Miss Kimberly and I come up with all these really great experiments, and I hope you guys like it too. So the first one we're going to start with is our pine cone. And the reason why we're starting with our pine cone experiment is this one takes a little bit of time. So we're going to set it up, and then we're going to set it aside, and then at the end we'll hopefully remember to bring it back on and we can look at it again. So basically, I don't know if you guys know, but pine cones are actually like giant seeds. So when you put a pine cone in water, normally when we find okay, let me start with this. Normally when we find pine cones in our yard or at the park, they're kind of like this, right? They're kind of open, the petals are open, and you can stick things in them like your fingers, and they got like pokey ends on them, right? But if you put a pine cone in water, look it shrivels up and like shrinks. So this pine cone turns out like this, but you have to let it soak in some water for a while. So we're going to go ahead and do that, plop it in there, and they float. I don't know if you guys know this either, but pine cones actually float. So we're going to put that in there and let it soak for a little bit, and then we'll come back to it later. Okay, so now Miss Corinne's going to follow me over to the next table, and we're going to start with our first candy experiment. Now, Halloween was last week, so there's lots of candy laying around your house maybe, or maybe you've eaten it all, or maybe you didn't get out to trick or treat, or maybe you just don't like candy, and that's okay too. But our first experiment is Pop Rocks and soda. So basically, you're going to take your soda. Now, I don't recommend drinking the soda after you do the experiment. I would just go ahead and dump it down the drain, okay? Open up your soda. Now, the kind of tricky thing is you are going to need a funnel, okay? So you're going to put the balloon over. Suzanne, I put the lid back on. Don't let all the carbonation. Oh, my assistant reminded me not to let the carbonation out of the soda yet. All the bubbles out. So we're going to leave that lid on for just a minute until I get it all ready. Okay. So you're going to put your balloon over the funnel, okay? And then you're going to take your Pop Rocks and you're going to pour most of your Pop Rocks into the balloon. Now, if you've never had Pop Rocks, you could save a little pinch and set it aside and maybe just go ahead and put it in your mouth and try it. So you're going to pour your Pop Rocks into your balloon, okay? Now gently take your balloon off the funnel, okay? So then you got the Pop Rocks in here. So next, now we're going to open the soda. Now you're going to want to just take the opening of the balloon and stretch it over your soda, okay? Don't pour this in yet. It can get messy. And my assistant was reminding me about not opening the soda, but my assistant did not bring me my paper towels. So this could get a little bit messy, so I'm going to go ahead and get my paper towels. Guys, just sit tight, and hopefully my assistant shows up at some point. Okay, hang tight. She only likes to show up when the actual experiment happens. She doesn't show up for the work. But look what's happening is our balloon is expanding. So we're blowing up our balloon. The Pop Rocks and the carbonation from the soda create a gas and blow up the balloon. That's pretty fun, isn't it? Okay. Miss Kimberly, have you ever had Pop Rocks? You should try some. I'll try a little bit too. Now go fizzy in your mouth. It's been so long since I've had Pop Rocks. Oh my goodness. Okay. Look at how big our balloon is getting. Oh, we're going to get some Pop Rocks to Miss Corinne. We love Pop Rocks. We love candy. Okay. So so much that I talked Miss Kimberly into letting me do it in the story time room. So we have to promise to clean up the mess, and we have to promise that if we break anything that we fix it. So the first thing, so we're going to make a rocket using Alka-Seltzer and water. The best thing to do, it's a film canister. So you kids probably don't know what film canisters are, but cameras used to have film in them that you actually had to put in the back of the camera. So if you have any film canisters laying around, grown-ups, the white film canisters work best. And I know this because I experimented with a whole bunch of different kinds of film canisters. So if you have a white film canister, then you need some water, and you need some Alka-Seltzer. You only need about half of an Alka-Seltzer tablet because it happens pretty quick, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, now remember, this is a grown-up thing. A couple of other warnings is once I do it, I'm going to step away so we can watch what happens. You don't want to stand too close to it because it does explode and it shoots like a rocket. So you want to let it sit about 90 seconds before you touch it if it doesn't explode. It should explode within the first 30 seconds if it's going to happen, but you should definitely let it sit a whole like 90 seconds, not 90 minutes, whole 90 seconds to 2 minutes just to make sure the Alka-Seltzer dissolves all the way before you touch it and try it again. But in my times I've tried it, it usually happens within the first 20 seconds. So we'll see what happens. It's going to happen really quick when it does happen, so kind of keep your eyes peeled. You're going to take your water and you're going to fill your film canister about 2/3 full. Not all the way full, about 2/3, okay? Now this is the quick part. I'm going to drop my Alka-Seltzer in there, put the lid on, and then I'm going to step out, okay? Okay. Oh! Not the rocket! The rocket is scary. I love the rocket! Can we do it again, Miss Kimberly? One more time. Okay. All right. I got permission to do it one more time, guys. Just because I like this experiment so much. All right. Try it again. Keep your eyes peeled because it does go fast. The water. Oh, I have to open a new Alka-Seltzer packet. I'm going to break it in about half. Okay. You ready? Oh, put my lid closer. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I love that experiment so much. And this time I didn't hit the lights or anything. I don't think I broke anything. We did make a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. All right. So now we're going to go over and do an experiment on the other table. Come on. We'll just leave the mess for later. Oh, look how big our balloon has gotten. It keeps expanding. All right. So this one has to do with more candy. Do you have a preference? Okay. Miss Kimberly wants the Skittles. I'll do the M&Ms. All right. So you can experiment with one, or you can experiment with both. If I were at home, I would choose one to eat and one to experiment with. Because like I said, we like our candy. Miss Kimberly can't get her candy open. Okay. All right. So you want to dump your candy out on the plate and kind of make sure it's even. Too many reds. All right. So you put your candy around the plate, and then you have a little pipette in your bag. So you're going to want a little cup of water, because basically what you're going to do is you're going to put a couple drops of water, I have M&M's stuck in my throat, and drip it on your candy. All right. So what you're going to notice is that the color starts to come off your candy, right? So you can kind of swirl it and see if you can make like a rainbow. Try not to dump your candy all over the floor. If you have coffee filters at home, this works really well with coffee filters too. Miss Kimberly's losing all her candy. She's really going to town. So see how mine turned brown? But then if you want to do that, you can either just leave it like this and see what happens, or you can kind of make a little piece of art with the candy on it. Okay, did we get enough candy? Okay, so now while my assistant cleans up this mess, I'm going to go next door, back to the other table, and we'll just keep working in the mess that we have over here. Okay, Alka Seltzer all over. All right, so this next experiment is also messy, okay? So it is, we're going to make dancing popcorn, okay? Whoop! And I just threw popcorn all over.
Already dancing.
So, I have this large glass container. When you're at home, you're also going to want, thank you, Miss Kimberly, you're going to want to do it in a tall glass just because you want the popcorn to be able to go up and down. You'll see. So I have my popcorn, I have my container, I have a measuring cup, vinegar. I do not have my baking soda, so after I get this all prepped, I'll step out and get my baking soda because, of course, Miss Kimberly, my assistant, did not bring the baking soda like she was supposed to. All right, so I'm going to dump in my popcorn kernels. And then I'm doing it in a really big container. You guys don't have just enough vinegar for your container, but I'm going to do about 2 cups of vinegar in my container. Just because my container is so much bigger than what you'll be using at home. So 1. I might need another cup of vinegar, I think, because my container is so big. Okay, I think that looks good. We're gonna leave it here. I'm gonna go get my baking soda, so you guys just hang tight again, and I'll be right back. So yes, it's pretty cool when it works. You definitely want to make sure that you have lots of paper towels and do it in a place at home where it can get messy. And you can see the popcorn.
It's trying to dance.
It's trying to dance. It's really hard to see. What do you think? We could put more vinegar in? Oh, Miss Kimberly's going to hold it up. Oh yeah, see? It's going up and down. The taller the container you have, the better it will work. I probably should have added even more vinegar than what I did. But you guys get the idea. Popcorn goes up and down. What happens is the bubbles from the carbonation attach to the popcorn kernels, and they go up and then they pop, and then the kernel goes down, and then it gets another one and goes back up and goes down. Okay, so
your ingredient should work in something about like this, so you have it a little higher, but put it in something or you'll have this little mess.
Okay, all right, so we have one more experiment for you guys. It's another messy one, so, but Miss Kimberly and I are going to do it together. So while she brings in her part, Miss Corinne will go over and watch her, and then I'll bring in, do we want to lick it on the pan? No? No? Okay. I guess we're doing it.
I'm the boss.
All right.
some of our products are perishable, which means that if we had prepped them for you, they would have lost all of the properties that they needed to do this. But you can do this at home if you have all of this stuff. Half cup.
All right, so I put in some green food coloring. I have hydrogen peroxide, which is one of the ingredients that would lose its properties. I'm going to do about a half cup. Okay. Oh, I'll let you. Okay.
So what you don't see is inside of here we have about a half a cup of warm water and we have yeast. Now the reason you don't see it is because I put it in there a few minutes ago so that it would have time for the yeast to activate. That's the other part that was perishable. The yeast, if we had taken it out of its package and exposed it to air and then sent it home to you, it would have actually killed the yeast and it wouldn't do this. So what you can't see in there is that our yeast is kind of dissolved and puffed up like it would with bread. And that's going to be part of what we need for this to work.
Okay, so I put my hydrogen peroxide, I have food coloring, and I'm going to add some dish soap. It doesn't matter what color. What a little extra squirt. Okay, you ready? We'll see what happens.
He's vomiting.
So it's getting thicker as it mixes together, and it's coming out his mouth. And we made a pumpkin vomit. Yay!
And we made another mess.
We made so much messes today. So, just so you know, parents, if you do these experiments at home, be prepared for some messes, okay? In your take and make, you do have instructions for both the rocket and the vomiting pumpkin or the Elements toothpaste, so you can try those on your own when you get the ingredients. Yeah, that's all I have. Oh yes, we need to look at our pine cone. So I put in the new pine cone, and look, he closed up. You remember at the beginning of the show, he was all big and open, and now he's closed up. So that's just kind of fun. The really cool thing is now if you leave this pine cone out to dry, and the next day or so it'll dry and he'll open back up. So it's just a really kind of a cool nature science experiment that you can just do on your own when you're walking through the park and you pick up some pine cones. You can take them home and try to close them up and open them back up. Okay.
Miss Suzanne, can I tell them how we figured that out?
Yes, that would be great. I would love that.
So some of you know Miss Megan. Miss Megan always gives us pine cones when we need to do projects, and we were planning to do, was it the squirrels?
Yeah.
The squirrels. So we asked Miss Megan to get us some pine cones, and she pulled them out of her yard, and she went, oh, they're so dirty. So she threw them in to wash them, and they all closed up like this, and she didn't know what to do. None of us knew that they would do that. She didn't know what to do because she had promised us these pine cones. And so she got on the internet and she found out that water makes them close, but when they dry, they open back up. So she put them out to dry so that she could give us our pine cones. It was accidental science, but it was so cool that we wanted to show it to you guys.
I just thought it was really cool. So lots of pine cones in your kits this season.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Is there anything else? Do we have anything coming up we need to talk about?
The next program that you guys might care about is the fall crafts. So that is on the 19th at 10:30. Those take and makes will be ready starting on next Thursday. The 12th. Okay? So I know some of you have already put your name down for those. If you know you're going to want one, go ahead and give us a call and we'll get your name down for those. And I think that's it. I think we've made enough of a mess. Now we have to clean it all up.
Okay, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.